Majestic sound.
Hey, what up, Falcons fans? It's your boy Toby D, and you have now tuned in with me to my Christian audio podcast, Faith Football Fans. Falcons fans, as many of you know, OTAs is officially on the way this week, and I'm excited about it to see what is going on. We've been getting some clear pictures from Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff about the direction of this team, some movement on the defensive line, Rashid Hagman, Grady Jarrett, Vic Beasley, and so on, moving to new positions. And I'm going to talk about the offensive line today. A gentleman by the name of Trent Wade, shout out to Trent Wade, asked me if I was going to do one on the offensive line. I really initially wasn't, but I'm going to go ahead and do it for him, just to give my fans perspective on what I think is going on. First of all, I cannot go on without first thanking our first time offensive line coach, Chris Morgan. I think this guy did a real bang up job with the offensive line, considering the fact that after that week 3 preseason terrible showing, how Miami Dolphins defensive line basically ran through our line, Dan Quinn and Tommy Dimitroff makes a quick move to go out and get Andy Levitra, giving up a 6th round pick to the Titans. Now, how about this? They go into this year's draft without a 6th round or 5th round pick, and they trade down a couple of spots in the 2nd round before picking up Deion Jones from LSU, and they get a 6th round pick, in which they go in the 6th round and draft a left guard prospect from San Jose State. There's something about San Jose State, and Tommy Dimitroff that he likes. I don't know what it is, but he likes to get players out of there. Chris Owens, for example, and I think Akeem King as well. A guy turned from safety to cornerback for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, getting back to the offensive line, I had to get Chris Morgan out of the way because he did a great job piecing this offensive line together in such the way that he did, getting them to play well with Andy Levitra being added on in that 3rd preseason game. Now, I think the offensive line did pretty good, and they added Alex Mack, the Mack truck. And this is going to be very helpful for Matt Ryan, a guy that's going to be able to have the intelligence to recognize the defensive schemes and the assignments of those defensive players within that scheme, help Matt Ryan to be able to get into the right calls and to execute the plays better. And he's a big guy, 6'4", 6'5", 315, and can get out on the run in the zone blocking scheme that we like to do. Now, it's going to be interesting with the new rule of the no chop blocking to see how we handle that. But I think we're going to do well. I believe in Chris Morgan and what he's going to be able to do. Him and Kyle Shanahan putting their heads together. Now, I also am in agreement with Mr. Trent Wade about the Ryan Schrader and Jake Matthews, our left and right tackles. I think we got stars right there. Now, Ryan Schrader being undrafted, of course, you know he's going to have competition. We did sign a few other players besides Alex Mack. Tom Compton, who has some experience in Kyle Shanahan's scheme, although never did start while Kyle Shanahan was with the Washington Redskins. And we added a few guys. Bryce Harris, I think, from the New Orleans Saints, and played with one other team. But I don't know if he's going to be able to really push Ryan Schrader. So I think Ryan Schrader is going to continue to keep his right tackle job. Now, we brought Chris Chester back, and I'm happy about that. A lot of people think that Mike Pearson, who has been removed from the center spot, mainly due to some of those fumbles that he allowed during the season while snapping to Matt Ryan, is going to be able to push Chris Chester for the spot. I personally don't see it. Chris Chester, yes, he is long in the tooth, about 33, 34 years old, but I think he's going to do a great job still the 2nd year, and he has way more experience in Kyle Shanahan's scheme, being with Kyle Shanahan in Washington. Now, I truly believe, though, that there could be a spot up for grabs. Andy Levitra. Now, how about this for a storyline? Andy LaBeecher was traded to the Falcons for a 6th-round pick. The Falcons pick up a 6th-round pick and go out to West Switzer from San Jose State. Now, wouldn't that be interesting if West Switzer is the one that pushes Andy LaBeecher, who had a lot of issues with penalties last year that cost the Falcons heavy in quite a few games. And I know the Falcons want to calm that down on the offensive line, stop killing drives. And Andy could lose his job to a 6'5", 315 guy who actually has the measurements of a tackle, but has what you need to be able to play in the left guard spot, but could play in the tackle spot as well because of the measurements that he has coming with him as a 6th-round pick. So that could be a storyline for any beat writer out there if this should happen. I wouldn't be mad at it. Hey, don't get me wrong. I think Andy did okay, but the penalties were a little too much for me. And we're going to need someone there that may be more capable of handling some of these defensive fronts that we're going to have to face in 2016. Now, a few other moves that I think the Falcons recently added another guy that was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys in 2015, 7th rounder. That was cut, put on their practice squad, cut again, went to one other team that he went to, was cut from there. Now he's with the Atlanta Falcons. And I think we have one more spot that we're going to have to add on to complete our 90-man roster. Right now, I think we're sitting at 89. Lawrence Gibson is the guy that they went after, 6'6", about 315. I'm sure you can see the trend here. We're getting some big players on this offensive line. And it's going to be great for the defensive line because it's going to make the defensive line a lot better, help us scheme better on how to deal with some of these big offensive linemen that we're going to have to face also in 2016. So the Falcons have made that move. Whether this guy makes the roster or not, I don't know. But we shall see. With OTAs starting, there should be more clearer pictures of what the Falcons are trying to do in the 2016 season coming up. But this is, to me, a great offensive line. The 5 players minus Mike Pearson is going to be the guys that guys on this team are going to have to beat in order to be able to earn a starting spot. But be on the lookout for Wes Switzer. He may, like I said, push Andy LaBeecher for that left guard spot, putting another big player next to our 6'4" center, which we now finally have stability there. Since after the Todd McClure days, we've been going around with Peter Kuntz that didn't work out, and no disrespect to Joe Holly, but he had a surprise move when he got cut, and he ended up getting picked up by Tampa Bay for the school. He's with Dirk Cutter, who's now the head coach over there, and Mike Smith, who's now the defensive coordinator over there. So that'll be interesting to see. I actually think Grady Jarrett is going to eat him up since Grady Jarrett is being moved to the nose tackle. And also will play still defensive tackle in certain packages and situations. But that's pretty much what I see right now. This offensive line, to me, is shaping up pretty well. I think we have 2 great right tackles. I actually see Ryan Schrader, who the Falcons have basically on a steal price. He did sign his tender. They did not offer him a big-time contract. I have to give some credit to Mike Tice, though, because Mike Tice, to me, did help with the progression of Ryan Schrader and Jake Matthews. And I thank Chris Morgan for not causing a regression in that situation coming in. But I look for the Falcons to be much better offensively than they were. I look for the run game to finally can get up to 2,000 yards total with Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman, we need you this year. Calm down on the fumbles. Get with one of the arguably best running back coaches in the league in Bobby Turner, who's coached some great Hall of Famers. And let's get them fumbles down, man, because we need you because you are capable of flipping the field quickly and possibly taking it to the house. Now, that is all for me. If I missed some things, I'm sorry. You can comment and point out some things that I missed. I'm not perfect. I'm just a fan, no expert. I'm just having fun with this thing. Again, my name is Toby D. Peace. I'm out.